A few years ago, I responded to a motor vehicle accident. At this time, I was a paramedic on a truck company for a fire department. We showed up on scene, and already on scene, the mutual aid department from the neighboring community was there. As I get out of my rig and kind of check to see what is going on, I look to my right and I saw an upside down vehicle. As I step off, the battalion chief comes up to me and he says to our truck company, "Which one of you are medics?" Well, I raise my hand and he points at me and he says, "You here now." Well, when a battalion chief speaks, you listen, right? So I walked right to the battalion chief. He takes me by the arm and he leads me into an RV. What had happened is this car had gone into an accident. Bystanders had saw it. A good Samaritan pulled over with their RV and taken out two small children from the vehicle and put them into his RV so that the dust and the wind that was going on at the time wasn't going to interfere with any treatment. So as I get into the back of this RV, I begin to notice that there is a 4-year-old child on the floor of this RV. The neighboring fire department had already started 2 IOs, intraosseous, basically needles in the bone for fluid in both legs. We hadn't intubated yet, but we had already trauma stripped the patient. I had been in charge of airway, so I was getting the patient airway. We had dropped an OPA at this time. Life flight was on their way, so we were bagging this patient, and during this time, the patient was going in and out of seizures. What stuck out to me most, not the fact that this was a pretty traumatic event, but the fact that there were some shoes that belonged to the child sitting off to the side. Now, to anybody else, that wouldn't be a big deal, but these shoes were the exact same shoes as my 4-year-old at home. Then and there, I kept it professional. I did what I had to do. But once we got back to the station, I lost it. Couldn't control it, couldn't control my emotions. Called my wife and got on FaceTime and asked to speak to my boys. And my wife has been with me through the years, through the fire service, through paramedic and all that. And she had never seen me like this. So I talked to my boys, and at that point, I knew I needed some help. After my conversation with my family, I went to my battalion chief at the time and said, "Hey, this call really hit me. What do I need to do?" And from there, I was able to get the treatment that I needed in order to come back to work fully able to do my job. So as you can see, it can happen to any of us.